A big shout out and thank you to our featured sponsors. Get your home summer ready with Bleaches NC. Is your carpet looking tired or stubborn stains and odors lingering? Let Bleaches NC IICRC certified specialist use advanced technology to give your carpets and upholstery a fresh, sanitized look. Safe for your family and pets, they'll make your home feel like new. Mention the Nurtured Woman podcast for 15% off your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME or 984-514-7463 today. Looking to buy or sell your home in the Lake Norman area? Trust me, reach out to Kristen Dorninger. With years of local experience, Kristen makes the real estate process smooth and stress-free. Get personalized guidance whether you're buying your dream home or wanting to sell it for the best price. Call her today at 704-492-6573. Welcome to The Nurtured Woman, a podcast bringing you conversations from a wide range of guests, from medical and wellness practitioners to wine and culinary experts, fashion leaders, and other trusted field insiders. Join me, Michelle Droll, your guide, as we delve into topics that inspire you. Today, I'm sitting down with Elisha Allred, a certified myofunctional therapist, to talk about sleep-disordered breathing in our children, a hidden issue that can lead to behavioral challenges, ADHD-like symptoms, poor sleep quality, and even jaw development problems. She's going to cover the top SDB signs parents should watch for and how having proper nasal breathing, lips sealed, and a well-functioning airway can improve their sleep, focus, and overall health, with the goal of helping them thrive. Welcome to the show, Elisha. Let's jump right in. During our pre-podcast call, you shared that you had the privilege of working in collaboration with several doctors, Dr. Dastrup, Dr. Tompkins, Dr. Aaron Wilbanks, and Dr. Allred of Allred Orthodontics. And you had said they are all airway focused in their practices. What does that mean? I thought a dentist was just a dentist, so I'd love to learn more about this specialty.
An airway-focused dentist is trained in looking at the development of the mouth with the breathing patterns and actually looking at your airway to see how you're breathing. And it's going to ask you all the right questions to find out if we have any issues with sleep disorder breathing.
Okay. So a regular dentist will not look for that?
Typically not. No, we are not trained that way in dental school. So this is a whole different avenue that if you aren't trained in it, then you are looking through a different set of glasses.
Now that I have a clearer understanding of what an airway-focused dentist or orthodontist evaluate, can you explain what myofunctional therapy does and how it fits into the picture?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Myofunctional therapy uses targeted exercises and training to create new pathways for oral muscle function and tongue placement. The main goal is breathing. We want to help people to breathe properly through their nose because we should not be breathing through our mouth.
Uh-oh. I do breathe through my mouth sometimes. Why is that a problem?
Yeah, well, we all should be breathing through our nose all the time because mouth breathing is unhealthy. This puts you in sympathetic mode and fight and flight. Nose is our filtration system. When we breathe through our nose, we make a great gas called nitric oxide. It's a vasodilator. It's antibacterial. It's antiviral. It helps keep our gases regulated. Breathing through the nose is just amazing. It also promotes proper facial development. So that's why it's important that we are making sure that our children breathe through their nose so they can develop properly and their teeth come in properly as well.
Wait, breathing impacts how our teeth come in?
Absolutely.
Sometimes keeping our mouth closed isn't possible for some people. If someone comes to you struggling to keep their mouth closed, how do you approach that?
That is where we become Inspector Gadget. That is where we find out what the root cause is why you're breathing the way you are. And that's why you need a myofunctional therapist or an airway-focused dentist, because we don't want to just put a Band-Aid on this. We don't want to just mouth tape.
Well, even the thought of having tape over my mouth makes me feel very claustrophobic.
Yes, and it overstimulates the nervous system. So as a myofunctional therapist, most of us do not recommend taping until we've done a full assessment. It's very important to have that done before you start taping your mouth.
Earlier, you mentioned the importance of tongue posture. Can you explain more about why it matters for both breathing and facial development?
100% of every person that I see has low tongue posture, and nobody ever thinks about tongue posture, right? Because we think about shoulder posture and head posture, but we never think about our tongue has a certain place it needs to be, and that is in the palate. The tongue being against the palate stimulates the palate to grow properly. It also promotes nasal breathing. When you've got your tongue up, you can't breathe through your mouth. So it's very important that you have your tongue completely up, not just the tip of it.
Okay. How do proper swallowing reflexes play into the role of our airway health?
We swallow properly. We stimulate the vagus nerve, which is our rest and digest nerve. This is wonderful for us. It also helps clear the eustachian tube. So when I see a child that's had chronic ear infections, we definitely look at the swallow.
Okay. What would be common signs that a parent would look for in their child?
Yeah, well, mouth breathing when they're at rest, like watching television. When you see them sleeping, they should have their lips closed, breathing through their nose. Children should not snore. You want to look for tired eyes, a receded chin in their development. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Why does that impact or have anything to do with airway breathing?
because we want that palate to grow forward and wide and not back. So when the palate doesn't grow forward, then the chin stays back as well, which produces a small airway as they get older. So with my background in sleep apnea, that is a big, big flag.
Now, when the four goals are met, and refresh my memory, what were they?
We want everyone to be nasal breathing with their lips closed, having their tongue to their palate, and we want them to be swallowing properly.
If they're not met, what's the issue? What happened?
We can see that influence on the development, basically, of the face. We can have a longer face. We can have a poor developed jaw, not enough room for all the teeth to come in, a receded chin, crooked nose, narrow nose, smaller airways. On x-rays that we take, a CBCT scan show that our face should be in thirds. And if you've got a longer third in the bottom part of your face, then you're typically a chronic mouth breather.
What causes mouth breathing?
There's a lot of things that cause mouth breathing. Sometimes it's allergies, enlarged tonsils, enlarged adenoids. There's lots of things, and that's why you really need an assessment to find out what the root is.
Okay. And so you'll assess an individual that comes to see you, and you'll refer out to the appropriate specialist.
Yep. Yes,
Okay.
if they don't need therapy, if I find they don't need therapy, I'll get them to the right people.
Okay. So you would do an assessment when an individual comes to see you.
Yes, and we want to find the root cause of why they're breathing the way that they are. And a lot of times they do need therapy, but therapy is not the only thing they need. A majority of the time they need to see other practitioners like an ENT, an airway dentist, an airway orthodontist. There's body workers that we refer to,
What's body work?
like a chiropractor, a massage therapist, someone that does craniosacral therapy. We like to collaborate with other practitioners so we can look at the whole body.
Okay. Very holistic.
Yes, absolutely.
Coming right back. Don't go away. Expert cleaning you can trust. Is your carpet looking tired? Stains that won't budge? Smell not so pleasant? We've got you covered. At Bleaches NC, our IICRC certified specialists use state-of-the-art cleaning technology to remove dirt, stains, smells, and allergens from your carpets and upholstery, leaving them fresh, sanitized, and looking their very best. We take pride in long-lasting results with a meticulous approach that's safe for your family and pets. Exclusive offer, mention the Nurtured Woman podcast and save 15% on your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME or 984-514-7463 to book your appointment today. That's Bleaches NC. Buying a home is a huge decision. That's why when my husband and I were searching for our house, we wanted someone we could trust to guide us through the process. That's exactly what we found in Kristen Dorninger. She was professional, easy to work with, and truly cared about finding the right home for us. She handled the negotiations, smoothed out the details, and made sure everything went off without a hitch. If you're looking for a realtor who's not just about the sale, but about you, Kristen is the one to call. Whether you're buying or selling, she's got your back. Call Kristen Dorninger at 704-928-6573. Agent with Southern Homes of the Carolinas. Welcome back to The Nurtured Woman. Now let's dive back into our conversation. What other impacts could there be from sleep-disordered breathing?
Yes, sleep disordered breathing is very common in children and adults. So some things that I think are important for parents that are listening to look for is poor sleep quality with their children. Children should not snore ever unless they're sick. If they're having frequent wakings, if they have reflux, if they have short teeth from grinding, if they're bedwetting at a later age than normal, if they have poor growth patterns, it's something to think about. The growth hormone is released while the child's sleeping. So that's an important thing to think about. Anxiety, depression, ADHD. So it's pretty interesting.
ADHD, really?
Yeah, yeah.
How could that possibly be linked to sleep disordered breathing? Because I know many families have their children assessed. So are you saying in
Right.
some cases it could potentially be an issue of poor sleeping habit?
Absolutely. Think about it. How do you feel when you don't sleep well?
Not focused.
Right? Not focused,
Crank.
short-tempered,
Yeah.
cranky, not able to pay attention to things. So it affects children the same way. So I think that when we're looking at children that have behavioral issues, we need to be looking at the whole picture. What are their sleeping patterns like? They shouldn't be sleeping with their head cocked back and their mouth open, making loud noises with their breathing or snoring. If they're a messy sleeper, that's a big thing. If they're tossing the
So that's an
sheets all around.
indication that they're having poor
Absolutely.
sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In fact, what I love about what's going on now is the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry now officially recognizes the critical role of airway health in children's overall well-being and urges the screenings for all of us to be doing this. This is very important.
Okay, so we'll go into our pediatrician's office and they will now screen our children for
Well,
this, hopefully.
I wish.
Oh,
Let's hope that this word gets out there more.
okay. I want to circle back around to something you said, Elisha. How can anxiety and depression be related to sleep disordered breathing? What's
Well-
the connection?
Well, think about it, Michelle. We have got to get rested sleep. If you don't sleep at night, then you're going to be anxious the next day. Your body has got to rest. They found now that children that don't get enough sleep, they can have less gray matter in the areas of the brain that control attention
Oh,
and memory.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
it's a critical time for us to be paying attention to these things.
We had spoken the other day about tongue ties. Can you describe for our audience, again, what a tongue tie is, and then how it's connected to sleep disordered breathing?
Yes, absolutely. And that's something that we don't really go over much in dental school either. So this is another one of those avenues that you got to learn a little bit more about it, but it's too much oral tissue under your tongue. You have a frenulum under your tongue. We all have one, but some of them are attached too tight. When it's too tight under the tongue, it's almost impossible to train the tongue to be in the palate with the lips closed, or they have too much attached, like towards the back of the tongue or towards the mid part of the tongue. So we definitely need to have that looked at by an airway-focused dentist. Now, myofunctional therapy cannot diagnose this, but we know what to look for. So if we see something that is a red flag to us, then we're going to refer to a specialist to have that confirmed and then address that as needed. So it all plays together. It's a big issue. I think could it be overdiagnosed? Yes, but there's a lot more that goes into it than just looking at the tongue and saying whether someone has a tongue tie or not. There's function tests we do. There's symptoms. We look at the breathing. So it really is a big puzzle.
I love that you coordinate care. You can make an
Yes.
assessment and determine which direction to send the patient for proper treatment.
This is part of why I love what I do, because I feel like it takes a team to give good health. It's not just one person. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to be in this field.
What does the assessment look like?
I have them come to me in person for an assessment, and they come in my office. We go over their health history, which I have a lot of great questions on there about their sleeping habits, eating habits, how they feel. We verbally talk about all of that. I take some pictures of the mouth and look at the function of the orofacial muscles. We do lots of sticking your tongue out and doing funny little things that patients think is really weird, but it tells me a lot about the oral dysfunction that they have and how to put together a treatment plan. And also, who else needs to be involved in this? Does an orthodontist need to be involved in this? Does another dentist need to be involved? Do I need to send them to have some body work done? I look at posture. It goes on and on. But yeah, it's a full-blown evaluation.
And that takes what, like an
Probably
hour?
an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay. So once the assessment indicates that there truly is a sleep disordered breathing problem, what does the treatment look like after that?
Yeah, so sometimes I need to send them for a sleep test right away, because that's important. We need to know if they have sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is very dangerous if not treated, and about 85% of the population are underdiagnosed. So it's a very important thing to have tested if need be. We see those signs. If we go into a therapy session, then we work on active and passive exercises. We do a lot of teaching them how to work with nasal hygiene and sleep hygiene, setting up their rooms and their environment for good sleep. So it's a plethora of different things to do, but definitely some exercises to retrain the brain, for the tongue to be up, those lips to be sealed, and breathing through the nose.
So at the end of the podcast, I always ask my guests for a bit of wisdom or advice. And my question for you is, what advice would you give to parents who are concerned about their child's breathing or their sleeping habits if they're noticing something that doesn't seem quite right?
My biggest advice would be to find a myofunctional therapist, call them, make an appointment, or find an airway focused dentist. Read about them, make an appointment, go and see them, and share your concerns. And they're going to be looking into things a lot deeper than the average.
So I would expect then that a patient dentist would refer them directly to you.
Yes,
Okay.
I get a lot of referrals. My functional therapists work very closely with dentists and orthodontists. Absolutely. So they could be your first stop. It's an airway focused dentist, or it can go the other way. I get a lot of people that just call me and then I will see them for an assessment, put the assessment together, and then refer them to who they need to go to.
Elisha, thank you for being here with me today. You've really given me a much greater understanding of myofunctional disorders and then the treatment for that.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Michelle. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to The Nurtured Woman. Who knew something as simple as tongue posture could affect so much? A big thank you to Elisha Allred for breaking it all down for us. If you're curious to learn more, be sure to check out her website, www.lipssealedmyo.com. See you next time for more conversations that help you live your healthiest, happiest life. A big thank you to our featured sponsor, Bleaches NC, your expert carpet and upholstery cleaning service. From stubborn stains to odors, they tackle it all with safe, effective solutions. Don't forget, mention the Nurtured Woman podcast for 15% off your first cleaning. Call 984-51-GRIME today. Another thank you to Kristen Dorninger. Buying a home is a huge decision, and Kristen is the realtor you want by your side. Professional, trustworthy, and genuinely invested in finding the right home for you. Kristen handled all the details and made the process seamless for my family. Whether you're buying or selling, Kristen is here to guide you every step of the way. Call Kristen Dorninger at 704-928-6573, agent with Southern Homes of the Carolinas. Want to get your business in front of an engaged audience? Podcast ads boost brand awareness by 28%. That means more people remembering you. The Nurtured Woman podcast is the perfect place to share your message. We'll craft a custom ad and feature it in the middle of the show. Don't miss this chance to connect with our listeners in a meaningful way. Let's get your business heard. Reach out today to Michelle Droll at mdroll@lknconnect.com.